In this section we start to look at how Excel can be used as a database and really start to manipulate and work with data. So first of all, what do we mean by a database? Well, traditionally a database is a software program that will hold large quantities of data, and it holds that data in a very structured manner. You'll typically have fields, which in Excel we'll refer to as columns, and within each field you have data that complies with a certain set of rules. So for example, within my items sold field or items sold column, I only expect to find items such as pencil, binder, or pen set. Organizing data in this fashion is both efficient for storage and also for querying the data. That is to say, getting information out of our data. Within Excel, we have the ability to add text and numbers to any cells, but some of Excel's functionality will be most powerful when we're dealing with structured table-type data, such as this list here. I have a record of transactions listing sales reps, their region, what item they've sold, cost, etc. From here I can use functions such as the sum, count, average. All of my data is neatly arranged in columns and rows. So one of the first features that is going to make it easy for us to work with our table data or database style data is the freeze panes operation. As I move through my data and scroll down the page, I will lose sight of that column header. And this will be annoying as I want to keep tabs on what information I'm looking at even when I can't see those headers. To do this, I go to the View tab and select Freeze Panes. There are three different options here. Let's look first of all at our Freeze Top Row. With the top row frozen, I'm able to scroll through the data and my top row always remains in view. It is, in effect, a frozen row. To test the other options, I'm first going to unfreeze panes. Let's look at freezing columns. In the same way we froze the top row, we can also freeze the most left-hand column. This means even if our data table is very wide, that left-hand column will always remain in view. I'm going to remove the freeze. The most powerful option is the simple freeze panes command, but we need to understand how it works first. As you can see from the little diagram, I have a little blue cell that is selected and the freeze panes is appearing along the top row and along the left-hand column. So the freeze panes is a relative function and it depends on the position of your cursor. At the moment my cursor is just beneath the top row and just right of the first column. This is exactly where I want it positioned and we'll see why. I'll now apply the freeze panes and we'll see that anything above my cursor has been frozen and anything left of my cursor has been frozen. This seems like a sensible arrangement. I can now scroll down my data and the top row remains frozen, and I can scroll across my data and my left-hand column remains visible. I'll demonstrate that again just so we really understand how freeze pane works. Let's say I was to put my cursor somewhere inappropriate, like in the middle of the table, and freeze panes. Again, the same rules apply. Anything above my cursor is frozen, and anything to the left of my cursor was frozen. We see the functionality works, but this is not what we aimed for. We now have data frozen at the top of our document. I will remove the freeze panes and reapply it in a sensible position. So you just need to remember that anything above your cursor and left of your cursor will be frozen. The next piece of database type functionality that we have available in Excel is the sort function. Sorting is extremely useful for a number of different applications. For example, I would probably want this list to be sorted by date. To use the sort command, I will select the column that I'm interested in sorting and use one of the predefined sort buttons. I can sort from A to Z, meaning alphabetically to Z, or from Z to A in reverse alphabetical order. If it is a numeric value, it will be sorted from lowest to highest, or from highest to lowest. Let's try to apply this sort to my date column. I believe my data is already in correct date order, so I'll try to reverse that order. We can now see that my dates are now appearing in most recent or highest number first. I can sort numbers and of course sort texts. So for example, I may want to group up my sales rep. I can sort by the sales rep column and see all of the transactions by sales rep grouped together. Also within my sort and filter group, I have a more advanced type of sort. I can use this sort button, which displays additional options. These sort options effectively allow me to do more than one sort simultaneously. So I can, for example, continue to sort my sales rep, but then additionally, within my sales rep sorting, I can sort by highest quantity. So I can add a level, select number of units, choose in which order I want to sort those values, smallest to largest is fine, and hit OK. When I do this, Excel will first sort the sales rep, and then within each sales rep grouping, it will then sort the units in numerical order. So within my guild grouping, I can see my units are indeed sorted numerically. Within Jones, the units are again in increasing order.